Waiting for us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here again.
I hope we were worth the wait.
Oh, definitely.
We always are. We're going Facebook Live this morning, so
Hi.
waving
I don't know
to
which
everybody.
one to wave to.
And tell us a little bit about why you're here because you've got some pretty amazing news.
Yeah, no, so most of you know me, running XYY Syndrome Association of Australia. Been doing this for many years now, and we're actually launching national charity. So we've got some big news happening. The charity has been, over the years, connecting and trying to find families and find XYY guys and connect. And this year is the year for us to go national and try and form a bigger body and help the families and the guys that need support. So, yes.
So tell our listeners, XYY, is that right, is a syndrome, and you were telling me that it's 1 in 850. Now, that isn't rare, but is it 1 in 850 of males?
Yes. Only males are diagnosed with the condition. And it's funny because most of the studies I've been putting out is 1 in 1,000 over the last 6 years. I've been seeing that as well. But we found a study in Denmark that was put out, and I'm actually going to share that because I do want people to see where that figure's coming from as well.
Yeah.
Because rare was put also in front of the title for many years. I've seen it, but the more we look into it, it's not rare. It's actually quite more common than we know. It's just the guys aren't being diagnosed, they've been misdiagnosed, or just never being diagnosed.
And when, how do you get a diagnosis? Like, how does it?
Genetic blood test.
Yeah.
Generally, we found most 8-year-olds or 40-year-olds, commonly the ages where diagnosis will happen. Reason being, 8-year-old, if you're not coming out of their development stages and they're not actually, progressing,
meeting their milestones.
Milestones, something's not quite. What are we missing?
So, what milestones are they missing?
So they're social and emotional. The social skills are very undeveloped, so they can be quite awkward at times to be around. They're not sure, they're trying to interact. Or some of our boys are non-verbal. We've got quite a few that are non-verbal up to 3-4 years of age, and not talking, and even till 9, not putting sentences together. Once they do start talking, they don't stop. My son, he just, we can have banter, we can have a flick conversation, but you can't have, in the younger years, I found a lot of the reciprocated conversation. So in the social environment, that can be really hard when you're trying to interact. So that's a big thing. And these guys are 6 foot by 14. So
6 foot by 14. So
wow,
that's a trait, is 6 foot by 14. That is phenomenal. Yeah. Look, I'm just over 5 foot. I don't think any of my kids, I would have to know that there was something going on with my children if they were that tall.
So I think it's interesting because the more we look at the genetic condition, in the earlier stages, I was looking really around how the condition affects these guys, and I put a survey out. I've spoken about that before. Survey came back with 184 respondents in 1 month. So the spectrum, we're getting quite a lot of data now to really see what the condition is and how it affects these males.
It was interesting talking to you that when you found the diagnosis, you were like, yay, now we know what it is, we can seek support. But you found there was no support because there wasn't knowledge when he was diagnosed on XYY syndrome.
It's that moment of you walk into the doctor's clinic and you're like, okay, they're going to give you something. And you walk out going, what was that?
Yes.
You don't know. You go home and you go, well, what type of life are we looking at? Is this a concern? Is this just something that, okay, we just need to work through and learn to, we basically, like I've quoted as many times, give him love, give him sport, and he'll be fine. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
There's a lot more emotional understanding around the situation, and also the family.
Yeah, education for the family.
My son, us, all of us working together. So that was something we wanted to prevent. So now we're in a stage of, what can the charity do? What can we be?
And it's amazing that you've created this foundation of change in that you experienced something and you went, you know what, I want to help others. And you've created this networking group that you said is the first in the world. Like
I said, overseas you've got Focus Foundation, and I'll quote them, and there's a clinic in Colorado that support the boys, and also AXYX. 3 big bodies and unique. Here in Australia, we don't have that network, and I've tried over the years to find it, and
you've had to build it yourself.
Yeah, and it's like, how do we? And all it's about is connecting specialists. And the project that we're creating is Get On Board. We're launching that with the national launch. Is that get on board with the therapists, the support, and have those connections. Come and help. We're not doctors. We're not counsellors. We need you.
So Get On Board is about educating the professionals so that they have an understanding, because I think you said earlier that people are often misdiagnosed and we're considered maybe things like autism or ADHD because there are similar traits, but this allows, or what you're doing is creating opportunity for professionals to understand that there may actually be another diagnosis there.
Yeah.
And this is done via a blood test?
Yeah, so genetic blood test, you can just request it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got any concerns, Google XYY Australia and say, take that to the doctor with you and say, I just want to look into this. It's going to rule it in, rule it out.
So how did you did you request it, or did a doctor suggest to you that this was something, or did you Dr. Google? Or
No, we got to the point where I've worked with kids 15 years before mine. Yep. So you go, thanks, we're not hitting those marks.
Yeah.
So going into the different clinics, originally from Sydney, shifted to Darwin, come across here, and it's a whole journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
That when we got here, we're like, okay, we need a pediatrician, try and find someone to really look over. I've had daycare assessors look over and they weren't hitting the mark to see what was going on. So they weren't even aware of those markers of what was going on with our son, because it's not known about.
Yeah.
How do you, it's not anyone's fault. It's just educating and knowing about what that condition is. And if you don't know what you're looking at, you're going to think it's something else.
Yeah.
They get labelled naughty very quickly at a young age.
Yeah.
So going into the doctors, it was, this pediatrician referred us to have a blood test. And I went, great, let's do it, because I don't know what that means, but we're going to do it.
Yeah. Answers are helpful.
Yeah.
And boys often get labelled delayed.
Yeah.
They're boys, they get delayed.
I had that with my son because I had girls before I had boys. Okay. But yeah, I had that with my son. I had girls before I had boys, and everyone was like, it's just because he's a boy and you're not used to a boy. There's nothing wrong with your child. There's nothing to be concerned about. He is a boy. You're going to have to get used to having a boy. So you're exactly right. It's really interesting that people just think it is a boy and boys are different. So, but I think as a mother, that there's something more than the fact that he is a boy.
Can we talk a little bit about this launch? Because it's very, very exciting, and you've managed to really spark some creativity with this launch as well. Tell me about the bridges.
So originally I thought, how can we make this special?
Yeah.
And get the community involved without having
so we want people to hear you.
Yeah, right in front of you.
Yep.
Getting really in there now.
You look spectacular.
Yep.
I like the mic.
Yeah.
So the idea around the bridges being lit up was that how can we involve the community, because we're actually hosting a private event with in Bruvino in Mandurah. Amazing. They've donated the venue for us. So we've got a private event happening on the side looking at the bridge. The guests coming to that event is actually health, education, GPs. I've got pediatricians,
fantastic
principals, really good bucket of educators, and just community support for what XYY needs going forward.
Because it's all the therapy providers and things like that.
Ally Health. Yeah. So having all them in one room to actually really see the condition, but also celebrate what we're doing.
Yeah.
So the bridge came into play where I wanted to get the community involved, and I thought, how about we light up the bridge and run a competition around it, who can take the best photo. So we're going to plug that this week, best photo of the bridge on the night.
What colour is the bridge's
green,
going to be?
Green, yellow.
Green and yellow, is that
so green, yellow is our Australian colours.
Oh, okay.
But
because it's going national, well done you.
Yeah, so green, yellow has been the colour for the charity, hence I walked in with a green jacket.
Yes.
To match the green wall. So that's sort of just, to really capture. So with the bridges being lit up.
But it's not just the Mandurah Bridge. What other bridges is there? No.
So I applied for that one and that got accepted. And I thought, I'll call Main Roads, and we got up in town. So we've got up in Perth over, was it 6 landmarks total?
Six landmarks. Wow.
That's amazing. Well done.
I will plug it online and show, we're about to put an actual release out. So I'll put, that will be out.
So you heard it here first.
Yeah,
you did.
People.
You have. So it's actually going out today. So the release will say exactly where it's going to be and around the competition around it, and we'll just say to email a photo of the bridge, and there's a prize from Mandra Cruises.
And you got to have a hashtag too. You have to have a hashtag.
I'm learning hashtag.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I
Thank you for the reminder.
That's okay. I love that, like, it's something that is really visual, because obviously this is not an invisible condition, but being misdiagnosed is not necessarily out there. So by putting it on landmarks that everyone sees, it becomes something visual for everyone.
Why has it been lit up? So we want to make sure everyone knows why. So coming in today was just, really that excitement of that as well.
And I can tell in you are beaming, so you must be very, very proud. But can I ask, we always have this saying where it takes a village, and we talk about that village. For you to get where you are today, which is a massive achievement, and to know that you are laying the foundations to be able to support families going through that, who is this village that supported you?
Oh, God, there's many of them.
Oh, she's fresh now, because you're like, am I going to forget someone's name?
No.
And it's also bringing emotion.
It is, because it has been, there's, we're just saying the Lions Club. So I'm linked to the Lions Club of Mandra as well.
You can make me cry.
No, sorry. I do this quite often. So Mandra Lions, we were linked with them within the last 2 years, and they've actually been amazing support for us. The connection with the community has just been, from every little thing we do, from selling Lions cakes, is get me out in the community, talk to people, then businesses get involved. So we've got community support happening all the time. City Manager's council's been really amazing.
Shout out to them.
And then the family and friends. Yeah. So, they're actual people within my group, the team, our committee, amazing group of ladies. And, there's 3 of us that are XYY parents. There's a lady in Brisbane, Emily, she works for Queensland Health, but she actually used to run the Association for Klinefelters. So we've all got these connections, and our amazing treasurer, no connection to XYY, but she's awesome. I'll shout out to her.
Yeah.
So there's a huge team, and there's a huge community. There's so many, like, over the last couple of years, the amount of businesses connected to us just to do a simple raffle. The support is phenomenal. Yeah. So now it's the professional side. We need the other side. We're creating the
support amongst each other. Now we want everyone else to know, so that there's not this hanging where you're misdiagnosed and you're not offered the support that's necessary.
We want to make sure these guys get the support they need, no matter what age they are. We're not just talking XYY is not one age. It's from prenatal to old age.
Yeah.
These guys are everywhere.
Yeah. And you're creating a community where they can get the information that you so wanted when you were seeking it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Because a national charity, it would have taken so many steps, and
it has.
You probably hit so many walls where you thought, I've got to change where I'm going and keep going. And you've got to this place where you're going to light up Australia and launch to
the bridge.
Yeah,
that's so cool. I don't know you, but I'm so proud of you, because I know what it's like
I love it.
to be able to reach out to people, because some people are really alone in this, and they have you, and because of the passion you have, you've created an opportunity for them to not feel judged in that moment. I think that's something that's really important. So thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And your son.
I can't.
And your son. He must be incredibly proud of you as well, because, you've done this all for him.
Oh, definitely. I don't know. He will know. He knows.
Yeah. I'm sure you tell him.
I see it.
Yeah.
It's all right. My youngest one quotes it all the time.
Yeah.
I love that.
You've got to educate them.
He's gonna be a good advocate.
Yeah,
Do you know, the other thing as well I find with my children is that they diagnose other children when they're like, I'm seeing some traits, Mum, because we have such strong traits. So I wonder what your son will be like in that situation as well.
I think definitely 10-year-old, but I think he's definitely going to be doing some support.
Yeah.
So once can you tell me when is the launch?
So launch is next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
13th. So the bridges will be lit up from sunset to sunrise.
So if anyone missed the information, because we did have a problem with the microphone, where can they go to seek this information?
So I'm going to be plugging it all over social media platforms. However, be straight to our website as well. So our website is xyyaustralia.org. And if you go there, you'll see what we're doing, but it's going to be plugged. I'm going to try and put it on every platform I can find.
Yeah, every social media, including mine. The Jess address will gladly share it.
I've got not radios, but Wave and Coastal also plugging it.
Yeah,
so
great.
I'm trying to put it out everywhere. The local paper. And then the radios up in town as well. So anyone wants to help, share it around.
Yeah,
and go.
Yeah.
Go see the bridge, light up, take a photo and be a part of it, and get yourself educated because you never know who you might help someone else with this information.
Definitely.
Amber, I'm so glad that you came in and you sat in the chair. I hope that your information will go onto my board so I can educate others. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing this launch.
Thursday next week.
Yes.
Thursday next week. We're going to play a little bit of Taylor Swift because if anyone didn't get tickets, you got to shake it off.